What up, is Marcus Dynasty with that? We're going to be talking about rookie running backs. We're going to buy some mid to later round running backs. And we're going to be talking about running backs that are way too low in the rankings. We're going to be talking about 3 of them. The first one we're going to talk about is the 7th ranked running back. That is where he's been going on average draft pick. And so it is Tyjae Spears. And he has everything you would want when it comes to a top 5 running back, but he's just being slid out of there for I don't know what reason. Maybe it's his health concerns. It's likely the knees, but we've had injuries of Chubb and Gore and even Gurley. I mean, if you get a couple of years out of a running back, that is a great pick as being the 5th, 6th, 7th pick off the board at running back. I mean, you are getting a steal here. And I think because of some of the health concerns he has dropped, he goes to Tennessee, again, a spot where you look at Derrick Henry and you go, well, that's where Derrick Henry is going to be the man for 2023. But this is Dynasty. Again, 2024, 2025. We have so many more years left. And we looked at some of these other running backs that, I mean, honestly, there's no guarantee that Derrick Henry ends up having a successful 2023 season. And Tyjae Spears being 5'10", 201 pounds, he could complement Henry. I mean, you have a guy who is at an 8.2 catch target share last year at Tulane. And so when you have an 8.2 target share, you're talking about a running back that is capable of pass catching. And so he may complement Henry and then go more into the majority the majority target / carry man in 2024. And so I like his stats. You look at 229, 1581, and 21, and 22 receptions for 256 yards. That's a great year, honestly, for a guy who is 21.9 years old. He's got the age, he's got the athleticism, he has every single ability, he has some traits. He even showed very well in the combine, not the combine, the Senior Bowl, if I can actually talk, that he was one of my favorite people, just showing that, whoa, he has some explosiveness that not a lot of other running backs have. And so some other running backs are a little bit boring. Tyjae Spears gives you all those attributes. And at 7, I think he's an absolute steal here. Number 9. This one is hot and cold for depending on who you talk to. I mean, really, there are some people that absolutely hate number 9, Chase Brown. And there's some people that absolutely love him. And I feel like I'm more into the love category than hate. Again, he goes to Cincinnati. He's 5'10". He's 209 pounds. He's 23 years old, so a little bit older. But he was drafted in the 5th round. There is no Samaje P. Ryan. Joe Mixon could be cut. Honestly, if Joe Mixon gets cut, then all of a sudden you're talking about Chase Brown being in the category with Roschon Johnson. He gets moved up in a couple of spots into that 6th category. And so Chase Brown here, I feel like that's where I'm wanting to take a risk of him over some of the wide receivers that get drafted around in that position. And so Chase Brown, again, could have that Dameon Pierce type of year if Joe Mixon is gone. And I'm just banking on, and I think 2 things will happen, and we're going to be talking about them very shortly, but I think Joe Mixon, this is either he will not play this year as a Cincinnati Bengal, or this will be his last year as a Cincinnati Bengal. And I believe the same thing for Dalvin Cook. I think that, in fact, but I would put it strongly more to the fact that I don't think this Dalvin Cook will play in the Minnesota Vikings uniform ever again. So you're talking about a running back, Illinois, 328, so had a lot of carries, 1,643 yards, 13 touchdowns, 93% yard, 40-yard dash, 4.43, 95% burst. So he's got a little bit of burst, got a little bit of speed to him. Not a ton of power that you're going to have behind Chase Brown or anything like that, but a running back that, again, for a 2-3 year stretch, could throw some fantasy production out at you. And at the number 9 spot, I like him more than some of the running backs ahead of him. Number 14, we're going to go with the running back that I love the most, and this was my biggest running back sleeper prior to the draft happening. And so I know that he's a Minnesota Viking, and so when people go, hey, he's a Minnesota Viking, you're just a homer, go back even, maybe 2 months ago before the draft happened, this was the running back that I wanted on my team in Dynasty. And so it's Dwayne McBride. He's 21.8 years old. 5'10", 215-pound wrecking ball, just breaks tackles, is impossible to take down at times at UAB. 93% dominator, 7.4 yards per carry, another over 90 percentile rating, 223, 13 yards, or over 1,700 yards and 19 touchdowns at UAB. Was a beast, again, not even 22 years old. I love him. And somebody actually made kind of a funny, but I guess somewhat good comp to Ronald Jones. And so Ronald Jones has not been a fantasy producer by any means, but he's been more of a fantasy disappointment. And I will admit that 100%. But why he was a fantasy disappointment is he was the 3rd, 4th overall running back. Now you're getting a Ronald Jones at 14 overall on a team that loves to run the football with potentially not much competition there. I mean, Alexander Madison is there, but that might be, again, a split with Dwayne McBride. If Dwayne McBride, there's Ty Chandler. I do like Ty Chandler as well. So if you are somebody that, I think this running back carousel could get really interesting. But Dwayne McBride, I think, if again, one of those running backs like Elijah Mitchell that gets on the field, if he's on the field, he could show out, and all of a sudden you're like, well, maybe Alexander Madison just stays in his B spot and we find another A. Whether that is Ty Chandler, whether that is Dwayne McBride, I feel like Dwayne McBride would be a perfect 1-2 down running back. And then Alexander, again, more that third down running back, a good pass catcher for his size as well. So I think Dwayne McBride could be an absolute steal. You're not going to get Dalvin Cook numbers, but you could get a low-end RB2 for, again, a few years at RB14, which I think is an absolute steal here. So again, let me know who your running back steals are from the ranges of 7 to 20 here, and I'll comment below. All right, peace out. Take care. We'll see you again very soon.